Recently I went on a family excursion, family trip, family outing, and I acquired two exotic specimens of plants. This is a pear. These are pear cuttings, not avocado, pear. That sweet type that looks like an avocado. Anyways, I will ready them and set them and see what I will accomplish. This is actually black pepper, and here I have a sample as well. These were green when I got them, but they're steadily turning black cause I have them a few days now. I don't even know if these cuttings are still viable. At least this one does seem viable. These, although I had them in water, seems to be dried out, but I am going to set them anyways and see what I'll get, because I had wanted this particular specimen of plant for a long time. These are black peppercorns, like pimento. They are dried and then grounded into what we call black pepper, like you would have pimento powder. But these are normally left on the plant until they actually get red, yellow to red when they ripen. But these are still usable, green like this. They normally leave them to get ripe. I made some pots here out of 1 gallon jugs. I cut them off and then I drill holes around them. But I leave a little reservoir in the base of them so they will keep a little water. So the plant cuttings will be more happy. I have here a bucket of soil, sifted. This is just fresh loam, rich loam, because I'm not going to put any manure, extra manure in these yet, because it will actually burn the cutting. So I'll fill these up and then we'll fashion already these cuttings and then we'll plant them and see what we will have, what we can actually propagate. Okay, let's get to fixing these cuttings and readying them for planting. I can't locate where I did my roll cut or garden shears, so I'm using this, my kitchen scissors, where I used to prune fish and all those kind of things. So, and a sharp knife to cut the pear cuttings. First, I'll remove all the leaves gently. And it's best when you leave this for like 2 or 3 days, because the leaves will come out without actually damaging the cutting. Notice these leaf buds, these new shoots. Those are what are going to encourage growth on the plant. Then, like this one, I'll find the node here and I'll cut it a 1/2 inch below the node, or sharpen it a 1/2 inch below the node, not causing too much pressure or bending on the cutting, because that will damage it as well. Then after doing that, I'll scrape gently. That, so the roots will go from here, and we'll push that down to about here in the soil. And this can do 2 cuttings, because we have 1 node here, 2, 3, 4. So we can cut it right here. You screw it around to get an even cut. And then same process. So here we have two cuttings from the pear. All these leaves are going to be discarded. They are going into the compost bin. This one has healthy shoots. See up here, we have one here and one here. And this has a fungal infection. But I will try, as where it came from, it's very humid. Another of that one. Cut it around. It's best when you give it a little sharpen, so like water can go up into the cuttings easily without causing much damage to it. And you push it down on the soil to about there, so the node is under the soil. And you will seal it in properly so there will be less air going in. Press that dirt in around the cutting. And you can even put a plastic bag over the pot and the cutting to create a greenhouse effect and put it in a cool place. This one, it has this part here on it. So what I'll do, I'll try to get this node out right here, right where the plant attaches to the other trunk, without causing too much pressure on it, because that's a good way to set a cutting as well. And we'll try to take those off without damaging the knob. The knob here, it's normally easy to get rooted, and I'll use aloe vera as my rooting agent. I'll just get an aloe vera leaf and I'll dip the cutting, push the cutting in it, and then I'll plant it. So this last one, I'm going to leave it as it is here. I'm not going to disturb it. And then I'll use this node to try and get roots. Sharpen here. And you don't need the sharpening to be too tall. But I've been taught that it's a good way to encourage the plant to get rooted when you do it that way. Scrape a little bit, not the node. Don't scrape the node, just under it. The node is where our next branch or leaf would come from on the plant stem. So here I have 5 cuttings so far. Yeah, and that's finished. So let's do the black pepper now. I'm going to use these. I'm going to dry them. I need a grinder so I can grind my spices, because I use spices like, I'll use the scissors for the black pepper like this, just the same. This is the lower node on this cutting. I cut it right there, but I won't sharpen because it's actually a vine plant. Take the leaves off. It's easier to propagate that way, and the plant will be under less stress. Cut this drying part off. And here I have one cutting. I'll put this in the soil and see if we can get growth from those nodes. Put over here. This one seems most viable, and this one has nice lush green leaves. I'm going to leave these 2 up here, and I'm going to take this one off at the base node and cut it just the same, about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch under the node. So that will go into the ground. And I'll do the same for this one, even though it seems to be drying a bit. And you have to look at how the nodes are turned, so you'll know See, the leaf is here pushing that direction, so this is actually the base of the vine right here. So we do the same, cut that there. I'm not certain the growing characteristics of this plant, specifically if I can cut it at one node and then it will sprout a new bud from there under the soil. So I'll leave a few nodes up. I'll do some more research for knowing exactly what is going on. Now, even these that are very much dried out, I'm going to set them and see what will grow. I'll cut this here because it's broken. This one is definitely rotting, so I'll leave that. But this, see, it has some green in it, and it actually has a root there, because these were actually lying on the ground under the trellis. Because it's actually a vine plant, you have to support it with a trellis. So I'll actually plant this and see what happens as well. This part seems to be far gone, too much dried out. So let's see if we can get these cuttings up and running. So here's what we have. 5 pears and 4 pieces of black pepper. Let's get to planting.
3 weeks later.
I have tomatoes up here, eggplants coming, strawberries. I'm starting to pot out a lot of strawberries because it's coming the spring season. See, I'm getting bearing now. I'm potting a lot more. Just need to nurture them so that we can get them producing. Still have tomatoes. A lot of pepper over there to plant out. I have pepper plants in pots producing. Green onion or scallion. So here is what we got so far. The pears are seemingly growing. This one putting on a lot of leaves. This one coming up. All the pears. This one was coming up nicely and I don't know what's wrong. I'm wondering if it has some kind of root fungus. But we lost all the black pepper cuttings, sadly. So we'll have to try again with that one. Because this was the last one. Apparently it's one of those type of plants that you have to plant quickly after severing it from the mother plant, because if it goes through a certain amount of trauma, it most likely won't make it. So we'll have to try again. That's how gardening goes. But we might have a pear.